Are you ready to dominate 2017? If so, please watch this video because in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things that you need to be able to make 2017 your breakthrough year. This is real life success. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Real Life Success. I am your host, the Urban Money Manager, best-selling author of the book, The Valedictorian That Lives at Home with Mommy and Daddy. Now, most of you guys know me. I paid off over $95,000 in student loan debt within 2 years after graduating from college, and then I quit my 9-to-5 job in corporate America. But just for you, I need you to watch the end of this video because I have something very special for you on how to be able to dominate 2017. Stay tuned. But when I was growing up, cell phones were still new. If you had a two-way pager when I was in middle school, you was balling, right? And so you got to think about now how advanced technology truly has become and how that's going to impact people who used to work in those jobs. Right? Think about when you go to your local bank. Some of the regular tellers that you would see that would be at banks in droves, now they're starting to get replaced by kiosks. Right? How many times have you been to a movie theater and instead of actually going up to somebody that's a cashier at a cash register that you can buy a movie ticket from, now you just go to a kiosk or you go online to be able to get that movie ticket before you even get to the theater, right? In order for these systems to be in place, guess what, guys? That meant somebody had to lose their job because somebody was once that person that was handing you the movie ticket, right? And this is consistent across tons and tons and tons of platforms. So that's what I want you guys to think about. Right now, it's important to understand the changes that are coming in automation, right? Because 50% of all jobs will be cut in 10 years, right? Now, when I'm saying 10 years and I'm relating it to 2017, don't wait for 10 years to come and then you get ready to be out of a job, right? You need to start thinking about how do I create indispensability now? Don't wait for the 10-year mark, right? If you're the person that only has a certain skill set where it can easily be replaced by a machine, you're just asking to get fired. You're waiting to get fired. So right now, what you have to do is you have to start ramping up your professional development, right? You have to start saying, you know what? What skills can I learn that if I learn these skills, maybe this is something a machine can't do? Or maybe this is something that machines have not been equipped to do as of yet. See, you got to get ahead of the curve, guys. You got to think long term. You have, in your industry right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what a machine would do to replace jobs in your industry right now, right? If automation came to your industry, what would those machines do, right? Maybe you're a doctor. How would machines impact your industry? Maybe you're in the automotive industry, right? You know, one of the things that I find really interesting about Tesla Motors? In Tesla Motors, in their auto factories, there's no human person that's in there assembling cars. Do you know why? It's all been automated, right? Now think about how many of your parents, maybe your grandmothers, grandfathers, they made an entire career out of the automotive industry, right? Where are my Detroit people at? A lot of you guys, some of you guys might be from Detroit, right? Your grandfather, your mother, your dad, they're living off of pensions right now from the automotive industry. But that's not going to be here during your generation. And it's definitely not going to be here for your kids' generation. And so what you have to do is you have to start thinking about, how do I get ahead of the curve? Let me switch gears for a second and speak for just a moment about some of you entrepreneurs, right? When it comes to you becoming an entrepreneur, I would think that it's in your best interest in this online world to start thinking about how you can use automation to your advantage. For example, there's plenty of times where I've told you guys openly, I make money while I'm asleep, right? And I'm not saying that as a point to brag. I'm really saying that to show you the power of automation. Because what I have now is a system that allows me to be able to conduct business transactions without me being physically present. So I can be having dinner and money's being made. I could be having lunch and money's being made. I could be traveling on vacation and money is being made because of the fact that I'm using automation to my advantage. I want you to start understanding there's a shift going on, ladies and gentlemen. There's a shift that's going on right before your eyes, right? The number one hotel company in the world doesn't even own hotels. The number one cab company in the world doesn't even own cabs. This is Airbnb and this is Uber. The sharing community is going to be extremely important in 2017. So you better write that down. Here's why you better write that down. Because there's chances are you are in possession of something right now that you take for granted every single day, and somebody would actually be able to pay you day by day just to borrow what you're sharing with them. Right? Isn't that how Uber makes money? Uber has made billions of dollars based upon people in their local communities saying, you know what? I got a few extra hours. Why don't I go drive some people around in my car? They're not going and borrowing anybody else's car. They're taking the same car that was sitting in their driveway or just joyriding around the city or whatever town that they're in, but now they're using it as a business asset. They're using it to make money. So that's what you need to think about, right? If you're struggling right now and you need to make a little extra side cash, you need to be thinking about, you know what? What am I in possession of that actually has some value, actually has some type of use, but I'm not doing anything with it? And if I did something with it, money could be made. Why is this so important? Because the traditional approach, right? Traditional is dead. I want you to think about that and I want you to prepare. Traditional is dead. I had a conversation with somebody. It was about 3 weeks ago, right? A good friend of mine. He was telling me before this conversation that he was really looking for a better job opportunity, right? He hated his job. He felt like he was really stressed working in the environment that he was in. He was having to work a lot of long hours. He was feeling very underappreciated. His health was kind of faltering. And he just really didn't know how to be able to, operate within the company. You know what I mean? Have y'all ever been at a job where it's like you try your best and no matter what you do, it's like you're always in trouble. You're always being told you're not good enough. You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. But then you feel like you're outworking everybody else and still they tell you you're not doing everything right. You see what I'm saying? I spoke with this guy 3 weeks ago and he told me, he was like, hey man, you know what I did? There was an opportunity at my job to qualify for early retirement, you know what I mean? Because they offered these different early retirement packages for people that are very early in their middle ages, right? So he qualified for the early retirement and, this cut him a few bucks. But guess where he makes the majority of his money right now? On Uber. Through Uber, right now, he's able to set his own hours, right? He's able to set his own days, right? And he's able to do all of these things from the comfort and the convenience of his own vehicle. So think about that. Think about that. What's the lesson in this message? The lesson is somebody was able to be able to have their own income source on their own schedule using their own materials. Why is the sharing community so important? Because one, a lot of us all need this community, right? We all need rides sometimes. I've used Uber before, even though I have a car. You know what I mean? I've used Airbnb before, even though I'm familiar with hotels, right? What is it that you are in possession of or that you have that you can share out? It could even be a toolbox. It doesn't have to be anything big, guys. I know a lot of times you might be thinking, can my screwdriver be something that I could use in a sharing community? Yeah, maybe. Because think about how many single women are on the planet right now that need things done around the house and might be willing to do it themselves, but it's easier to just have somebody hand deliver them a screwdriver. See, y'all got to start thinking, right? You got to start thinking about how can I take advantage of this opportunity to be able to make more money on my own terms, right? That's what I want you to think about. All of this is possible for you to do on your own terms. Through the sharing community, through the advent of the internet, through traditional being dead, I'm able to wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. When I want to work, I work, right? And I utilize the tools that are at my disposal to make money. Now, the third thing, and this will be probably the most controversial, but bear with me. And I don't want to go too far out there, right? Because I know that we have a diverse audience. But like I said, I recognize, being the man that I am the urban money manager, right? And I am speaking to the urban community. I would say that the third thing that you need to prepare for in 2017 is a change in your social environment. Right? Now, like I said, this is not Fox News. This is not any other news outlet. But all of us are aware that in 2017, you are going to see certain changes, right? We know that there's going to be changes in political office. And it's not so much always about who's elected in office, because one of the things that I want y'all to realize is studies have actually shown that presidents being elected in office only impacts you but so much, right? There are so many different challenges that you have in your personal life that really has nothing to do directly with the president in office, right? Some of you might have relationship problems, right? If you got a baby daddy or a baby mama, I don't know if Trump has much to do with that. You see what I'm saying? But we do understand that even aside from who gets elected, sometimes there's a community response to these things. And as we've seen in 2016, we've seen a lot of times of turbulence, right? This is the reason why I have made a personal mission in 2017 to work with a small group of people, an exclusive group of go-getters, leaders, thinkers, innovators, people that really want to be successful, people that want better for their family, their friends, their future. I am going on a personal mission to be able to work with many of you as your direct mentor, right? Because as you will notice, you might have to get prepared to be able to have some uncomfortable conversations at your job, right? Think about that. I want y'all to really think about that. The day after the election, how did you feel when you went to work? The day after you saw certain things in the news, might have been murders, might have been all types of slangs, things that are going on. You know what I mean? There's things that are going on all over the U.S. When you see these things happen, when you turn on the news, do you really feel like you have a place at your job? Do you really feel like you have someone that you can reach out to really kind of vocalize the challenges that are unique to you, right? The reason why I say all of that is this. I've already told you guys about 50% of jobs being cut, haven't I? I've already told you guys about the differences in automation. One of the things that's going to be very important for many of you to do in spite of changes in the social environment, in spite of things that are going on with jobs being cut, it's time for you to start improving your network, right? I want you to start really thinking about that. I know I've been saying this before, but as you can see, now is a better time than ever to truly consider this. You need to start thinking about who is in your network, because when it comes to your network, this is the group of people that you're going to have in your life that you're going to say, these are the group of people that helped lead me to success. These are the group of people who actually wanted to see me succeed, wanted to see me win. These are the group of people who were actually willing to take me, step by step from where I was before to where I wanted to be. And if you don't have this network put in place, and you're relying on your boss, you're relying on your teacher, you're relying on somebody else that outside of this job, they really don't care about you, you're going to find yourself in a bad spot. And so it's time for you to start thinking about who is on your team. It's time for you to start thinking about, as you see wars all over the world, right? It's time for you to start thinking about who your allies are as you go through the battles of life. So one of the primary reasons why a lot of you guys right now are finding issues with employment is because you do not know how to properly highlight your credentials on a resume. For example, many of you have gotten your resume template and all of your knowledge about how to draft a resume from Google.com and Microsoft Word. Guess what? So has everybody else. So has the 7 other billion people on the planet that's applying for the same job that you're applying for, right? How many of you guys right now put, oh, I'm a hard worker on the resume. That's why you should get me the job. I'm a hard worker. How many other people on the planet, right, do you think right now that apply for the exact same position and they put, I'm a hard worker, right? It should be a given when you're applying for a job, for employment, that you work hard. Right? So there's so many things that you've been trained to put just so generically on a resume that doesn't help you stand out at all. And when you have hundreds of people applying for the exact same position, standing out is exactly what you need to do. So just to kind of give you guys a background, earlier this year, I ran an experiment. You know, Antonio was a part of it. Some other guys were a part of it. I decided to take 100 people, right? And I decided to develop a test group to see how effectively I can mentor other people. I'm going to share with you guys some of the results, right? So regarding unemployment, right? So this is from Amir, right? I'm literally reading some feedback that I was given from some of the guys that I've worked with this year to help mentor them, right? And getting better jobs. He said, my new boss, which is my regional director, told me that he was up to 1 o'clock in the morning examining my resume and said to himself that he needs me on his team. So all praises to the Most High in Christ. July 11th, I will be Director of Environmental Services at a behavioral health facility hospital, and my regional director was even talking about making me another regional manager within my first quarter, depending on how well I perform after my 90 days. So that's something that I want you to think about. This is a guy that I worked with and I mentored him, you know, for a fairly limited amount of time. You know what I mean? It didn't take a billion years. It's somebody that I worked with this year. And in the time that I worked with him, he went from where he was previously to being a director and even being promoted possibly as a regional manager, all within the span of 90 days, right? And I'm able to do this because I'm leveraging all of the things that I know as a previous campus recruiter for one of the largest companies in the world. All right, so right now is your moment. Right now, you have the opportunity to make 2017 your breakthrough year. So if you're ready to take the step and seize the opportunity, log on now to iwannabesuccessful.com. This is the chance right now for us to finally be able to work together. You've seen my videos. You know my story. I want to share my success with you. So right now, click the card above or go to the description below, because this is finally a chance for you to be who you want to be in 2017.